Welcome to Power Podcast, episode 76.24. Power Podcast is an audio supplement for Public Administration Review, the premier professional journal in the field of public administration. This year, 2015, Power celebrates 75 years of furthering public administration research, theory, and practice. This episode features comments by Siri Terjesen, a faculty member at Indiana University, Bloomington, and visiting faculty at the Norwegian School of Economics in Norway. Professor Terjesen discusses her article titled, Advancing Public Policy for High-Growth Female and Social Entrepreneurs, co-authored with Niels Bosma and Erik Stam. This article is currently available in early view and will be published in Public Administration Review, Issue 76, Volume 2.
In this article, my co-authors Niels Bosma, Erik Stam and I discuss findings from a large and growing body of entrepreneurship research and offer insights for public policy and public officials and managers. We define entrepreneurship policy as measures that are undertaken to stimulate entrepreneurship in a particular region or country. We are concerned with three types of entrepreneurship. The first, high-growth entrepreneurship, refers to entrepreneurs and firms that have realized a substantial increase in firm size, such as in employees, or in output, such as sales, over a number of years. The second area is female entrepreneurship, which concerns women who pursue careers as entrepreneurs or own new businesses. The third set is social entrepreneurship, that is, individuals who pursue social objectives with innovative methods through the creation of products, organizations, and practices that yield and sustain social benefits. We seek to answer two research questions. First, what empirical generalizations can we make from the now mature field of entrepreneurship about these three activity types? And second, what implications can we draw from policy directed at these three types? For high-growth entrepreneurship, we have 7 generalizations and 4 implications for public policy. First, for generalizations, job creation is highly concentrated among a few high-growth firms, and these firms are often young but not necessarily small and do not appear to be more common in high-technology industries. Growth intentions are a necessary but not a sufficient condition for new firm growth, and it's very difficult to predict which firms will become high-growth firms. Firms' high growth is not persistent over time, and different growth indicators lead to different sets of high-growth firms. In terms of implications, as availability of finance is often an important factor, governments have used a wide range of policy instruments, including public-private microfinance and credit loan guarantee schemes. Other financing outlets include business angel networks, public-private venture capital, and IPOs. Governments have also changed labor market regulations in order to reallocate jobs towards high-growth firms, invest in new knowledge as a source of high growth, and open up markets. And finally, many policies for high-growth entrepreneurship are actually misguided. The best that governments can do is ensure that the contextual conditions for high-growth entrepreneurship are in place by feeding a healthy entrepreneurial ecosystem. For female entrepreneurs, we have 6 generalizations and 4 implications for public policy. First, women make up only 1/3 of all new entrepreneurs and only 1/4 of all established business owners, although the gender gap varies considerably across countries. Women's firms generally have much lower levels of initial financial capital compared to men's firms. Women entrepreneurs' financial capital is less likely to come from formal external sources or from angels or VC investors. Women's ventures are overrepresented in the retail and personal service sector. Furthermore, women entrepreneurs are generally more likely than their male counterparts to have high levels of education, lower growth expectations, and be motivated by non-economic goals. Women are also less focused on market reach, competition, and business valuation. Our research concludes 4 implications for public policy. First, higher levels of female entrepreneurship can be found in countries with greater provision of child care services and generous family leave. Second, policy initiatives can also be directed to expanding women's social capital in terms of facilitating access to entrepreneurial mentors, networks, and exposure. Initiatives should also eliminate discriminatory practices, thereby allowing women to access equal rights and freedoms to conduct business. And finally, policy initiatives should take into account the impact of women's entrepreneurship in the design stage. Our final set of findings relates to social entrepreneurship. That is, individuals who pursue social objectives with innovative methods through the creation of products, organizations, and practices that yield and sustain social benefits. We have 8 generalizations and 8 implications for social entrepreneurship policy. First, for generalization, social entrepreneurs explicitly seek to address market failures across many sectors and to solve other societal problems, including those that concern the government. Second, the overall prevalence rate of social entrepreneurship around the world varies from 0.5% to 5% of the population aged 18 to 64. Third, social ventures are found in the following sectors, from most to least common: social services, culture and recreation, development and housing, education and research, environment, health, philanthropic intermediaries, and volunteerism promotion, as well as law, advocacy and politics, religion, business and professional associations, unions, and international. Social ventures are primarily funded by the individual entrepreneur and his or her friends and family. Just like traditional businesses, survival chances in the first few years after the social startup are very slim. Social entrepreneurs often rely on modest startup capital, which is usually obtained from the personal network and increasingly through crowdfunding, but tend to experience many problems when scaling their ventures. Individuals with higher levels of education, for example, college and graduate school, and higher levels of employment, part-time or full-time, or student status, tend to be more likely to start social ventures. Our final generalization is that males are more likely to start social ventures than are females. However, the gap in social entrepreneurship prevalence is not as high as with traditional commercial entrepreneurship and varies substantially across countries. We have 8 implications for social entrepreneurship policy. First, there is no one-size-fits-all blueprint for social entrepreneurship because of the vast differences in social venturing prevalence, as well as in legal and regulatory frameworks, access to financial resources, markets, and training. Second, individuals who live in countries with higher levels of economic and social development are better positioned to seek to develop social ventures, thus increasing the level of social and economic development. A no-regret policy in general will foster higher levels of social entrepreneurship. As social ventures are more likely to survive if their entrepreneurs have prior relevant entrepreneurship and sector experience, policy efforts can seek to help aspiring social entrepreneurs develop these skills through education, training, and networks, and sometimes utilize incubators and growth accelerators. Fourth, public procurement policies can encourage social entrepreneurs that generally tend to start small and therefore experience a lot of difficulties competing for public procurement. Fifth, there are many promising venture sources, including venture philanthropy, institutional investment, individual investment, ethical or social markets, and crowdfunding. Policy-oriented measures can also help social entrepreneurs measure social impact. Countries may choose to implement a dedicated legal status for social entrepreneurship that recognizes the duality between social and economic objectives. And our final implication is that the regulatory burden should not be too onerous and should enable ventures to focus on both social and economic activities, as well as on medium and long-term sustainability in the market. We hope that you will enjoy reading our article and that it will stimulate future research that delves more deeply into how institutions can affect entrepreneurial ecosystems for high-growth entrepreneurship, female entrepreneurship, and social entrepreneurship. We strongly encourage scholars of entrepreneurship and public administration to engage with policymakers and with entrepreneurs in order to understand the key problems in society and how to design research that matters for realizing innovative, sustainable, and inclusive growth, and ultimately to disseminate the research findings to the relevant communities. We believe that such engaged scholarship is in short supply, and remedying this would not only lead to better policies, but also to better and more relevant research.
This concludes PAR Podcast, episode 76.24. To listen to additional episodes and learn more about Public Administration Review, please visit us online at publicadministrationreview.org. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter at PA Review. Thanks for listening.